President Shinra, first let me apologize for having to use this vulgar means of communication. However, I do need a form of communication which processes directly to you, which cannot be circumvented by Lazard in any way, shape or form. Typically, I know that I'm undercover, but truth be told, the undercover operation isn't going best. After almost a month here, almost nothing has turned up. And further, I don't think those I'm stalking know how to use the internet. So, I feel safe in the knowledge, or safe in the act of reporting this to you. This is a letter which arrived today addressed to me. However, not my undercover name. Of course not. Writing 3 letters on a page would be entirely too hard. No, instead, the idiot goes and uses my code name. Thank you, Lazard, for being a moron. That took some amount of explaining. Apparently, they now all think I roleplay, whatever the hell that is. Secondly, the letter also arrived on headed notepaper. As you can clearly see, it's Lazard's handwriting. Further, I haven't read the contents of the letter yet, but I imagine they'll be quite characteristic of Lazard if I know the man in any way, shape or form. So, I'm going to read the letter aloud now, and hopefully this will leave little to no doubt that it is Lazard behind this, and you can throw him in the retraining pin or something. Please do. Please film it. I've got nothing to watch out here. Pretty please. Right, on with reading. To the person of Cissnei. Ah, Cissnei, Cissnei. Dear, sweet, curly-haired Cissnei. Well done, Lazard. You figured out I'm curly-haired. How long did that take you? Things have greatly improved in Midgar since I had you sent off to the damp, bleak peaks of the Welshlands. There is no way in hell you could have got me sent out here, Lazard. I'm here stalking a group of what could only be described as rebels. True, they don't know Midgar exists. However, that does not imply that they are any less of a threat. Furthermore, it's an operation you could never be put in charge of, nor could you handle by yourself. It takes someone with actual brain. Be assured that it comforts me to no end that you are in a place where Zack may never have his shirt off without risking instant death. That sentence doesn't make any sense. I have been in closer proximity to Zack shirtless than you have ever. And, yes, no instant death going on there. Admittedly, yes, there were a few Genesis clones, but what can we say? Boy gathers an audience, doesn't he? It's become so amusing with my little bro bear Roro. Did you just call President Rufus Shinra Bro-Ro? You should probably tell him about that. But either way, ugh. You're gonna die, Lazard, especially when he hears that. He thought all he had to do to get me to leave him alone was to deport you somewhere you couldn't steal Wacky Zack away from me. The reason I am in this god-forsaken, live-stream-forsaken place is you! No, Zack. No, Lazard. You're wrong. You have to be wrong. No one is that stupid. You don't send a trained assassin away for your own convenience, because everyone knows that that assassin will hunt you back down, and God knows what state you'll end up in. So no, Lazard, no, you didn't have me sent out here, because if you did, I'm afraid your body would be found floating upstream in the morning. The young are so cute when they're naive and clueless. Speaking of Zach, young, naive, and clueless, lol. Did you just use the internet speaking a letter? Part of the undercover thing is that I'm here doing an English course, Lazard. I've been here a sum total of 3 weeks, and you insult my intelligence with that. You're getting reacquainted with my shuriken when we get home. I have now set out to sabotage the Shinra illiteracy program so that I may keep my little spiky-haired puppy boy unable to read properly. Yes, I will admit that Zach is rather puppy-like in nature, but that doesn't give you the leeway to call him a little spiky-haired puppy boy. I'm not the only one with a weapon, Lazard. He has one too. Perhaps I should link him to this. It's not that I don't believe the program isn't noble. This company is finally doing something to help the unfortunate masses. Lazard, you have the letter addressed to someone who's originally from the slums. Trust me, dear. Both Rod and I have stories which will turn you bald. So, an illiteracy program is not going to help the people of the slums. Perhaps giving them some money will help the people of the slums. But learning how to read... It's just that it threatens to ruin my lovely plan to tutor Zach in how to write Japanese properly in my library. Oh god, you're not doing what I think you're doing, right? No. No. You will cost the company a fortune in therapy. Currently, I'm thinking the best way for him to learn would be for me to write it all over his body and then for him to copy it onto mine. First you send me a letter out of term. Now you're indulging your sexual fantasies onto paper. Wonderful. A minimum of 3 classes a week sounds good. If you're referring to the therapy he's going to need afterwards, after seeing you naked, possibly, yes. But away with such naughty, naughty thoughts. Lazard, I don't think you ever think anything except naughty thoughts. My company library card doesn't even arrive until next week, and I'm already thinking of ways to abuse its power. President Rufus, if you are listening to this, please, for the love of God, do not give that idiot a library card. We all know what goes on in the library. We have all accepted what goes on in the library. We do not abuse what goes on in the library. Lazard will. Do not let him do this. My photo for said card came out of the usual gorgeous standard. In other words, you look like a troll. Of course, I had my hair done especially for it. Sometimes L'Oreal on its own isn't enough. Lazard, regardless of what products you use on that mop of yours, it will never work any better. Since that'll take another week, and I won't be able to execute my wacky zacky makey miney plan for a while, Lazard, have you ever considered the fact there's a reason everyone avoids you? It's stuff like this. I must continue, as I always have, alternating between online dating networks, that's because you couldn't get anyone if you tried, and randomly encouraging, that's read molesting, subordinates. We all know what goes on floor 49. All of this. I mean, come on, like, oh please. The company's equality programs haven't reached the union yet, as we're independent. I know, there's no female soldiers. It's not fair. If Lazard gets eye candy, I want some too. Get working on it. Please. We're independent, and I have nothing but young, keen, good-looking humana men walking around 449, groaning and sighing and sweating and showering in full view of my cameras. I get so turned on sometimes it floors me. I don't even need to comment there. Heidegger hasn't bothered me since I took out the restraining order, but that expires next month, so I'm a little worried. Good. You deserve all the torture you get. That said, I'm convinced his sick hobby of stalking me while I stalk Zack is still being practiced. Heidegger can't stalk anyone! Look at the size of the man! Ugh. Lazard, seriously, if that man's following you and you don't notice, you're in trouble, dear. The walrus man has problems, and not the fun kind. You also have problems, and not the fun kind. I'm sure he followed me to the Anime Anonymous dating evening. He was cosplaying as Dr. Eggman, but I knew it was him. That's because you can smell that man at 40 paces. That man needs to give up on his fantasies of what is never going to happen. Sounds exactly like someone else I know. That said, I found that unattainable dreams are frequently the best kind. Like you dating Zack. They keep you motivated, keeping something out of your reach so you keep moving forward. Again, like you dating Zack. You're right. Speaking of the evening, I had such a wonderful time. I met some very interesting people, although there are still far too many ninjas. I mean, like, hello, overkill much. I imagine so. It's what ninjas are trained to do. Kill things. Much like the Turks. Speaking of which, you have an appointment with me the second I get back to Midgar. Understood? I met a particularly intriguing fellow of the name William T. Spears. He says he is the manager of a dispatch office or something. Dispatch is just a fancy name for shipping, so his work isn't very interesting, but he has fantastic hair. Sleek and professional. Oh yes, Lazard likes this. Ugh. Someone should warn this William T. Spears. Anyway, that's basically all you're missing. Nothing much. That's because we all know that both myself and Rod are the only things that keep this organization in any way interesting. The company's still going strong, because you haven't managed to cock it up yet. The union's okay. I don't care until you get female soldiers. The Turks have no idea. Of course we don't. Zack remains in good health and sexiness. So since you're not missing much, please stay in Wales and marry a sheep or something. Oh dear, how can I do that whenever Zack's parents already think I'm his fiancée? Oh yes, you don't know about that. I never got round to telling you. Have fun. Hope you are well. Lazard Desrius, Executive Director of the Union of Soldier. Well, President, that's about all I need to say for now. If Lazard is thrown in the training pit, I hereby formally request that the video is put up on this same site, whatever the hell it is. And, because I have nothing to watch out here. So, until the next report, this is Cissnei, over and out.